But I ended up having my daughter at 16. And looking back now, today, I see my daughter having the room that I didn't have room, like safeness that I didn't feel safe with growing up. And I think that's just attributed to me graduating high school early, me starting college early, me having a child early. And I think like we need to really pay close attention as we reflect on things, what we're in alignment with. And I think all the things that I just mentioned, like not feeling safe in my home, not feeling I can confide in someone, you'll start looking outside of the home to confide in someone. And so I met her father who passed away. And as I was pregnant, 8 months pregnant, just so everybody knows. And that's when I started going on a bereavement journey, like a widower's journey that I never thought I would have in my entire life. But that just led me to being this woman who I am today. Wanna be a boss today.
Welcome back to the BILFPod, where authenticity trumps authority. Now, if you know reality TV, then there is no mistaking that you will know Miss Farrah Abraham. Now, she is, I'm sure you guys all know this, and I don't even know why I have to intro you because you're a whole intro in yourself, girl. But I am so excited to sit here with you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my, I'm so, girl.
Yes.
Thank you for just, being you and raw and authentic. So you ready to do this?
Yeah.
TV personality, author. Like, what is it that you don't do?
Go big, ladies. Go big. Don't ever settle.
You know what? I love that. I love what we were talking about last night. You have so much to you. I love that, you are an entrepreneur. Yeah. You are a mom, and you said that this is really a huge year for you, right?
Yes.
Your daughter's gonna be 16.
So my daughter is 16. Yeah. It's a big reflection point for like the culture of teen mom, 16 and pregnant, where I started. So yeah, she's the age of when I started my fame, the success of this huge franchise. So it is just also just like a golden era. This year has so much opportunity with AI. And I hope like, as we talk about this today, people really get into this. Like there was like a huge boom back in the day with like Mark Cuban's like generation, where they had a big boom with like media, communications, and television. And that's where they made their millions. So like right now we have this opportunity of this golden boom with AI. So hopefully we'll get into that today. And when I first heard of BILF, I was like, business I'd like to fuck, but I guess it's boss.
Yes, girl. Oh my God, I'm dead. That's so
I'm
funny.
going to just say there's some businesses I'd like to fuck today, so we should talk about those. There's fuckable businesses.
Let's dive into it. But before we begin though, I really want you to get your story out. Yeah. Just real quick background. I mean, before 16 and pregnant, like where you were, how you, like really quick, brief, like 5 minutes, tell who you are.
So I was born and raised in Council Bluffs, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, the big O, the downtown old market. Everybody loves it, loves to visit. And I, just was raised in public school. I had a half sister. My parents ended up getting divorced on the Teen Mom Show. But I ended up having my daughter at 16. And looking back now, today, I see my daughter having the room that I didn't have room, like safeness that I didn't feel safe with growing up. And I think that's just attributed to me graduating high school early, me starting college early, me having a child early. And I think like we need to really pay close attention as we reflect on things, what we're in alignment with. And I think all the things that I just mentioned, like not feeling safe in my home, not feeling I can confide in someone, you'll start looking outside of the home to confide in someone. And so I met her father who passed away. And as I was pregnant, 8 months pregnant, just so everybody knows. And that's when I started going on a bereavement journey, like a widower's journey that I never thought I would have in my entire life. But that just led me to being this woman who I am today, who wanted to understand mental health, who wanted to recover, who didn't want to be in grief and bereavement her whole entire life and let that define her. And it took a lot, but I'm grateful that I had my daughter so I could compare these ages and actually understand how important child development is and that relationship with your child. And I would say to any mom or any dad who's listening, the biggest thing is I never let anyone, even from production, who are very manipulative, very friendly, we're like family, I never let any distractions or people get in the way of my relationship with my child. No grandparent, just nothing. And I think those outside distractions and forces, when you're at 16, you're like, oh, I'm scared or I'm fearful, but I have none of that with my child, none of that with my daughter. And she really confides in me, like over a therapist, over her friends. She doesn't side with anyone who's like trying to do secrets, because that's a bad way to live your life. Yeah. So that is my life in a nutshell. And that's who I am and the woman that I am today and what I've been through.
And so resilient, I have to add. I mean, just
you
imagine.
gotta have that grit.
Yeah. I used to watch you when you were 16 and pregnant. I watched the show for a very long time.
Yeah.
And just to see where you were to how resilient you are today. And I love the relationship you have with your daughter. You met mine yesterday.
Yes. So I love your relationship.
So I think we have very similar parenting, open, who knows if it's not the most conventional, but what's conventional, yes. Like who cares? But what I really, really admire about you is there has been a lot of controversy out there, and you've been able to rise above. People talk shit, whatever, but look at you. So what do you have to say to all the people that have what to say about you, but look at you and your empire? Like, how do you even combat that?
Yeah. I think like our discussion last night, when you're like, hey, when I hit 40, I realized like none of these pressures matter.
Don't say my air on age. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Whatever age you hit, you're just like, none of that matters. I will say, when I was literally having like really bad anxiety leading up to my daughter turning 16, just because I knew
it's a tough age.
How tumultuous my 16 was, which is not the same as my daughter's, but everyone who's been watching me for 16, 17 years, following me, whether that's on TV or digital, everyone was projecting like, you're going to have the same relationship as your mom, or like, in my head as I was raised, like systemically, they were just like, if you're a teen parent, you can't give your kid what I've given you. You can't make it to what I've made it. And I will say this, every negative thought or anything systemically ingrained in like my brain, my computer system, I learned when my daughter turned 16 that was all a lie. She has a much better life than I have had. She has more than I ever had at 16. She has her home brand. She's doing exceedingly and abundantly better. And I'm just in a better place as well than my parents. And I have to say that like, overall, like even when I just like was out for my press tour for like my comedy and like that next level in my career, I still had older hosts saying, oh, well, you're not that great at your timing. And I was like, what do you mean? Oh, because you were 16 and pregnant. And I have to say, whatever that negativity is, whatever that like lack of inclusion and equality is for younger parents, I hope that I have really destigmatized that. And I've just said like, basically like, older parents suck too. Older parents have worse issues than I have. And it's really not about how old you are. It's not about how young you are. It's about how you rise to the occasion of whatever challenge you are dealing with. And something I'm super passionate about since this like a 16-year reflectiveness is that I even have it like on a change.org thing, just so like it's up so people know, because I don't like to talk about it all the time, but I feel like I would love like a new law. From my life experience, my walk of life, I have just come to the understanding of we have no inclusion and equity in contraception prevention for vulnerable age groups. We have, I don't know if you want to call them children or if you want to call them young adults, but it's an act of God when a guy and a girl can then now procreate, can now have babies, their body does their own things. It's not what age limit you put on someone, it's an act of God. And I think I just want that Inclusion and Equity Act for those vulnerable age groups, whether you're 10, 11, 12. I'm not saying anything crazy. We see on the news that there's young adults.
I have young kids, so I can tell you it happens in middle school.
Yeah, there's young adults that are pregnant all the time. People act like I was crazy because I was 16 and pregnant. But the thing is, no one is crazy for getting pregnant at early ages, we have a whole gap that doesn't provide prevention. They lead to crisis like abortion or adoption. And as we've seen just from Teen Mom, my colleagues, my cast members, Caitlin and Tyler, they gave their child away for adoption thinking that that was going to help them with a brighter future. Well, they had thousands, if not millions of dollars thrown at them on TV, everything. And their life is not in a better place. They're in debt. They lost their house. They have 3 children. And so whatever we've been systemically told and just like pushed down and low self-esteem and controlled and manipulated, it was all wrong. And so when my daughter turned 16, I saw this full circle and I've lived it. And I just want anyone and everyone to know, if you're a parent who feels that way about your child, you're in the wrong. If you're a host on a news station and you're doing that to people, you're in the wrong. So I just really want that. And hopefully one day we'll have an act and a law and everyone will be included. And that's what's real. That's what's real about our society. So more the merrier. If you're a middle schooler getting pregnant, if you're a teen getting pregnant, more the merrier, because our whole society has left that out.
Yeah, I mean, so passionate about everything you're saying. And I think that it just goes to show, like, if anyone has anything to say, because, there's things in the tabloids about your parenting and what you're doing. But I think it's very obvious that the one thing that's at the forefront of your life is your child.
Yeah.
And that in itself
no one gets in the way of it. I haven't gotten remarried. I don't choose men over my child, and there's other teen moms who do. You see it all the time on the show. They're getting remarried. They're having IVF. It's almost like a joke about 16 and pregnant now. So I just have to say, like, I am walking the true walk that other parents are conscientious of in real life. Like, they don't want people around their child. There are predators. There are all sorts of things that can get in between and distract my relationship for my child. And I just take it so personally. I take it because it is a personal thing. It came out of me.
But isn't it funny, like, how everyone gives you this unsolicited advice, or there's like haters on there talking so much shit about you. But meanwhile, you're right. You didn't get remarried. You still have one child. So it's not like you went out, started, this whole whatever, this hoe era, I like to call it. It wasn't even, but you can tell. So it's just, it boggles my mind how people have so much to say about you and what you're doing. And meanwhile, here you are developing AI. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
That was super, I mean, I think you took 16 and pregnant, correct me if I'm wrong. You used it as a platform to not only better your life, but your child's life too.
Yes.
So people have what to say. I know you do OnlyFans too. So we can touch on that. Why is that bad? Why? I love, but everybody has what to say about you.
Yeah, there's double standards.
Yeah.
You're saying double standards.
Yeah, of course.
I forget, like, there's some woman who has like a show now, and Denise Richards, right? Or someone.
Yeah. Well, what's it about?
It's like her, she got remarried and now her girls are teens.
And they do.
And her daughter does OnlyFans,
yes,
and then she
Denise
did
Richards,
OnlyFans. Yeah. And I have to say, it's like crazy because older women, younger women can do OnlyFans. But like when I do it, it's like targeted. OnlyFans has to like pause my pages sometimes because it's so targeted from negativity and just lies. And, there's a lot of women online who are stealing against the law. Like, my pages clearly say, if you do not have my consent, you cannot take any of anything, even if it's free. It's a subscribed platform. And so I had lots of women leaking all of my stuff, whether it was like, basically a lot of it's a joke on my pages. And I should feel free to do that there. That's my private space. That's my comfortable space. That's where people can talk to me about all sorts of problems, and I've helped them with their lives. But I cannot believe that other women who have children and a husband would put themselves in a legal crisis, steal my content, put it all over TikTok.
Someone did this to you?
Yes. And then Barstool Sports picked it up. And I basically had to threaten everyone, like, you're going to be sued. I'm not letting this go. And that's where you like see me saying, like, I stand up for my value and my worth. I don't ever let that shake. And I think a lot of us need to stand true to our boundaries in that and stand like these are our constitutional laws, and I am going to hold you accountable for that. And because of that, we now have like new digital like laws on the internet where like if you search, like try to search like pornography or something, you cannot see it. There's like a digital act. So as I've been just sticking to this and talking loudly about this, I feel like our online safety, for everyone's personal photos, videos, or whatever it may be, it has finally gotten into the brains of people who need to stop doing that. It's very rapey on the internet, and I have to say that word. Ever since I was like assaulted a couple years back, I just really, from like deep trauma therapy, I realized from like childhood up how I felt about like consent and boundaries, and how most of us have to really work hard still to just instill our boundaries because we are systemically taught to not stand up for ourselves. It's like herd mentality. Let's just let it go. Let's just let it slide. And then you have a ruined life. And I just know from paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix my brain, fix my life, that I was tired of flushing it down the toilet. And I just really wanted to live by it. So if you're a mom, if you're anyone who is like stealing my content, clearly you don't have the rights to it. And I say it on all my platforms. You're like a rapist. And I hate to say it like that, but you truly are. And I think that is what's wrong with society and why we let, sexual assaults and predators go for 20 years before they're thrown in jail. So I think, it's just to a point in your life where, hey, do I want to live in consent and respect people and respect myself and have good self-esteem and just leverage everything I have and let my businesses grow? Or do I want to be over here and let things just hit me, screw up my life, not have any boundaries, use and abuse other people? And that's just, there was an occasion where there was a clear divide and I could not wish-wash it anymore in life. So that's just kind of where I'm at. And I live my life by 12 steps. And I just want like good people around me. So I hope that's clear on how there's two ways of life. And my coaches always say, you can flip over the coin and live your life a better way, or, pray for the other people who are not yet.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Absolutely,
and I just think people got to take that real serious.
Well, I mean, that makes so much sense. Like you can choose to live your life however you want.
Yes.
You want to, you want to be sad all day. That's a personal choice. So tell me, let's talk a little bit about your relationships, because we talked yesterday about boundaries, and I think you do a very good job. I was learning from you last night about boundaries and keeping people at bay, which is hard. And just, for you, you've been in the spotlight for 16 years.
Yeah.
So how have you been able, and I know you have some cast members that you've worked with, that the boundary is up, but they also get on live TV or do podcasts and sit there and literally just bash the shit out of you. So how have you been able to kind of navigate that? And like, we'll start there. How have you been able to navigate that?
Yeah. So I had an epiphany with one of my coaches one day, my ADHD coach. And there, again, my whole body, mind, identity had to be rebuilt from the ground up from my attack.
I love how you do a lot of self-improvement too. So
there was no choice, guys.
So you are aware, like you're not without flaws. We're all of us. We are not without flaws. So I love that constant improvement.
Yeah, had to, or
so go ahead, sorry.
I wouldn't be back to work. So she said, one of my ADHD coaches said, like, Farrah, I think like what is really struggling is, it's not, so a lot of people think with ADHDers, they have like defiant disorder. It's actually not defiance. We have, and it's not depression and it's not anxiety. We just have a depressive response. And it took me years to understand this because no one around me believed in mental health, mental education, or ADA, constitutional recognized disabilities in my home, in my work. And I think that's also what's wrong with society. So I didn't understand myself. I ended up scanning my brain, my daughters, and I learned more about depressive response. Then I kept searching and looking, and I was like, well, there's people around me who are like super negative. Like, is that what they have too, but they don't know what they have? And so I really started studying like our brain types from Amen's clinic. They're top #1, tons of celebrities on their episodic podcasts, and recovering. So I started just getting into like brain types and understanding what I'm looking at in human behavior. And I think that's like super important for children, for anyone. So once you're educated, you're like, hey, one day I was just like, it's negative stimulus. I need to say I'm choosing positive stimulus today. So I wrote a note and it's still up in my office till this day, years later. And it says, I choose positive stimulus today and every day so I have a better life. And every time that I see that note on my office wall, I realize like I made a commitment to myself. And when I catch myself having negative stimulus, like people who like argue and fight with their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, that is, you guys are all in negative stimulus. And they call it like that negative response or the depressive response for ADHD. But there's also a lot of other disabilities where they have these negative responses. And I've truly shared this with so many men, and it's helped their lives, it's helped their relationships, it's helped their businesses. Because yeah, we weren't taught growing up what that is. We weren't taught anything about it. People just like put an excuse on it, put a label on it. I had the wrong therapist for so many years, the wrong psychologist for so many years. And then I finally found someone who could identify it because she was smart enough, did enough school and education. And literally, she has changed my life. And I'm always indebted to that person who helped me get on the right track.
Well, I think misery loves company too. And then once you get sucked into the nonsense, then you just become a victim of it. And and it just swirls round and round, you know.
And I think I like the victim thing. I have to say, like, I was tired of being a victim.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being a victim of, if it were ever my family, my community, what I was raised around. I'm tired of the victimhood of that. I'm tired of how I was raised. I'm tired of if I was attacked and I'm in like a support group and everyone's a victim. Like, I really do get tired of the victim mentality. And I think because like at church, it's all about like, how can we recover against all odds?
Yeah.
How can we be like a victor rather than a victim? And
because it's a choice to be a
yes.
victim. Like, things happen,
Yeah.
you know, you can be victimized, but I think it's a personal choice. Like, if you want to, you know, shit happens to all of us. I was telling you yesterday, my dad died when I was really young, and it would have been very easy for me to just use that my entire life. Well, you know, I didn't do well in school because my dad died, or I did this because but that's a choice. But at some point you have to say, all right, shit happens. It does. Unfortunately, it happens to all of us, some worse than others.
Yes.
But when you choose that victim mentality, it overtakes you and it becomes who you are. It should only be a part of you, not who you are.
Yes.
And that's why I love talking to you, because you know, I mean, look, shit happened to you.
Yeah.
Shit really happened.
It's all good.
But I love when people, they just like highlight all this shit, but you're like, fuck it, I don't care. And you put up that boundary there.
Yeah.
Incredible. That is super
I do feel like, again, like if you're a business person and you're going through a lot of legal issues, which I am all the time right now and every day.
I love how fun. I love the transparency. She's like, fuck it, I am. Yeah.
I am. And my attorneys and my lawyers are truly like, is this girl okay? Because I literally will talk about some really dark, traumatic stuff. But I'm like, I helped myself so much that I can talk right through it to my legal team, that I can say, hey, this is what's next. Because I don't want trauma getting in the way of me winning, of something going like faster so I can get through it. And I think what I've seen from other victims of the same circumstances is they disassociate.
Yeah.
They say, oh, I'm going to just let it ride out. I'm going to just let it be. I'm going to let it process. And unfortunately, our laws don't just say, oh, just let it ride out and just revisit it whenever you want. There's like just, you know, there's like, if you have 2 years or if you have 3 years to get something going for your crime or get repayment for that. And I think I've just seen a lot of victims wait, you know, 10, 16 years, whatever it may be, and they still disassociate. And I just am like, I'm not disassociating. I'm sitting in it. I am sitting in everything that I need to feel, and I'm feeling right through it. So I don't have to have like anxiety medications and be depressed, you know, on top of depressive response, which I'm just born with. So I just don't like that. I don't like sitting in it. And so I hope others hear that, because I know I fought for like 3 years trying to get my mental state right. I hired anyone and everyone. I did anything, neuro direct feedback, scanning the brain, anything. And I was sad all the time to my coaches and my psychiatrists. And I just said, like, where is the girl like I used to be? Like, it like even tears me up talking about it, because I would like read my book that did so well. And I was like, damn, this girl had like fire. Like, and I'm happy I wrote a book so I could have a best friend and I could revisit it. And so it was like, I had to look at all the things I accomplished. And I would say to my coach, like, I really need to get back to this woman that I once was. And she's like, oh no, you're going to be better than that woman. You're going to come back and you're going to be like a force of nature. And it finally started happening, so much so that I could get on a comedy stage, use my voice bigger than ever, and even talk about assaults and laugh at it now. But yeah, it used to hurt me that I couldn't get back to the girl I used to be. And I saw my daughter and I, we were just traveling in Miami, and I saw the girl who came with me to Planned Parenthood when I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter at the airport at a baggage claim.
How ironic.
And she comes up to me and she just is like, Farrah, and hugs me. And it's like, I'm right back to when I was 16 and pregnant. Like, I'm there. Like, I feel the aura. And then I'm like, oh my God, everything's the same, but Sophia's 16. My daughter, she didn't even know the name. My daughter's 16. She's here with me. And it was just mind blowing. And I have to say, just like seeing her, feeling the feels, understanding where the girl I was and the woman that I am today, like she brought up to my daughter. She just started talking about the girl who I was to my daughter. Like, and I was just hearing her talk about me. And she's like, your mom was fierce. She's like, your mom was out there. She like took control of the whole entire school. And I was like, really, like,
look at you now though. You're doing it now as a woman.
Yes. But
your energy is there, girl. You are there.
My energy is there.
I don't know the Farrah before, but I know the Farrah now. And your energy is so infectious. Like even just like I could see my energy rising because your energy is so fierce and so positive.
Yes.
I mean, you're there.
I appreciate it.
Fuck what everybody else has to say.
Oh no, but I'm saying those reminders.
Right? Who cares? Yeah. I told you yesterday, like it comes a point where you're like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Yeah. All these haters out here, everyone's talking shit. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So what I do love though about revisiting your old self, seeing people who you haven't seen in like 17 years, who knew the old you, and then is seeing your life today, seeing who you are today, and they're reminiscing and they're telling like your offspring about you, is I love, like, that's what I hope you all hear. And that's when you revisit yourself and when you see old friends, and no matter all this stuff, legal problems, plastic surgery, horrible relationships, everything, you can throw the kitchen sink at it of what I've been through. But I'm still loving that amazing teen girl who everybody talks about. And I think so many people wanted us to hate teens, us to hate those girls that we were, or hate ourselves. And I have to say, I love the teen version of who I am. And I hope everybody else can love the teen versions of themselves and then like be like, wow, all these chapters of my life that I went through. And I am so amazing today. And I just want everyone to feel that, because it is heartwarming to be able to have that opportunity and experience in your life to fill you in every chapter of your life. So I'm just really blessed to just have this happen. And I just had to share that.
There you go. Mic drop. I mean, I think you said it all. I know a podcast dropped yesterday. We were talking about it.
Oh.
So did you end up watching? Like
I didn't even have a chance to because I've been running.
I said I would watch. I didn't either.
It's okay.
So, but you know, like a little bit about what's going on the podcast. You were on the podcast.
I was on the podcast. And I got.
So do you want to talk a little bit about it? Or?
Like, fortunately, I got to go do a podcast in support of fellow cast member of Teen Mom.
Do you want to say who it is or not?
Sure. It was, Caitlin Lowry. She,
so you guys are on good terms.
I mean, I don't talk to her personally. I mean, she, her team sends you the links. Her team is doing the work. And I do have to say, through doing so much work and with people on different podcasts, and also it's kind of a different dichotomy, like, because that person watched me, that person's worked with me. But you see someone who has clearly like a disposition where they can't intimately conversate with someone, whether that is jealousy or I'm hiding something in my personal life, or there's just only surface level stuff. There's not anything deeper. And I do have to give you a compliment. Like
Ooh,
I showed
I
up for
love
like a girl pal, like a business mastermind dinner last night over hookah. And I literally had just such a good time meeting a couple amazing women, meeting your daughter. And I just like love that stuff. I love like really having conversations, seeing wherever it goes, and not feeling like anyone is holding or hiding something.
So I'm
Yeah.
doing good. Am I doing?
You're just
am I doing
you're
good? Do I
being
make?
you.
Am I doing great?
Everyone is just being themselves.
There you have it. Testimony. No, but it is. I mean, seriously, we're women. We're moms.
Yeah.
Why? I hate the woman competition thing. Like you're supposed to uplift other women.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to suppress them. We've had many, many years of that. So why are we hating one another?
Yeah.
Why? That makes no sense. And if you're on, and look, the way, and I said this to you yesterday, I go, wait, so you went and supported her? You're like, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
So
no matter what.
does that not say a lot about you?
Like I'm just fearless. Like I don't care if I know that someone has a crazy disposition, is making me out to be someone other than I am.
Supported her. Like
Yeah, I
you went
do.
and did it.
And I post about anybody's podcast. I've had other podcast people seriously actually hate me. And they're like, why did you even like reach out? And I think like this Farrah that I am does not care about politics, does not care about anything negative that holds you back, because I'm not letting negativity hold me back. I can go and have a great conversation. If you suck as an interviewer, that's on you. If you have feelings about me that are negative, that is on you. Like I just don't hold other people's stuff anymore. And I think like,
why should you?
Yeah. And I think maybe some of the ladies from the show are not as acclimated of being out of the show as I am. I don't put on like a perfection addiction thing anymore. Like I don't act like my life needs to be perfect. I think some of the other moms, they are still definitely struggling in that department. And again, it took me years. It took me years of deep therapy. And I sincerely wish the best for all of the teen moms. Like I did a 28-day trauma healing center. And I think like that's really what a lot of moms need. And I saw a lot of other moms there. And I saw a lot of other teen girls there who lost their boyfriends. And I was like, damn, I wish someone brought me here, when I was 16. It would have really changed my life. So yeah, business owners were there, lawyers were there, sports players were there. And you're also there with, heroin addicts, alcoholics, drug addicts of all sorts of stuff, pill addicts. And I think like the common denominator is we all have our choices. You can choose to reach outside of yourself to fix yourself, or you just know like, I got to see myself and not let it get in the way of seeing other people and like really connect. All of the work is seriously within yourself. It has nothing to do with the outside world.
Yeah.
And I think we're taught otherwise.
I think you can see that because I saw also you were hanging out with Janelle, right? And there was like a big controversy. And forgive me because I'm like not super savvy on everything that goes on in the world, but I knew there was like a big controversy. And I saw you showed up for her too.
I do.
So all these people have like, this is crazy. So all these people have what to say. And here you are, you're showing up for these other women, your colleagues, and you're showing up despite the bullshit that was said. And there was some bullshit said.
There's some really, there's some really, things that normally I would not, like the old Farrah would never even give them the time of day. And that's really what we saw for like a decade or whatever is I'm not giving you the time of day. You want to talk negatively, I'm not giving you the time of day. And I think the only way that you can oppression upon change in the world is by not closing people down, but really showing them how similar you are. We are all human and we need to all get to a higher level. And if you got to be the leader, then be the leader.
Yeah.
Go through the fire.
Amen.
Go through the fire.
And you took the lead on it. I think that says a lot about you and your character. You took the lead on it. You showed up despite everything. And honestly, I think showing up is a bigger like fuck you than anything else. And you don't even need to say it.
But I'm not doing a fuck you.
No, it's a classy. No. It's just a classy way to show up and be like, okay, all right, I know you talk shit about me. I know this happened, but you know what? I'm going to be the lady in the situation and show up.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot.
And I think like they just wanted to move on with their lives, right? I think a lot of women still haven't worked through different chapters of their lives. So it's very easy to be like, okay, I'm going to show up and act like I didn't do anything. And I think I'm not ignoring what's gone on. I'm just here to talk. I'm here to be present. But I'm also not saying any of my personal information. So it's just like I'm talking about me, but I'm not really like getting too much into my life or like how I feel about people. But I also don't gossip anymore. So it's like, yeah, these are my experiences. I wish them all the best. But like I have to focus on my daughter's success and mine right now.
All right, girls. So I love to play games, right? I think
Me too.
Yes. All right.
Flags ready.
All right, so here, this is gonna be a follow or unfollow. So like if you wanna follow them, you're gonna put a green flag up and then unfollow, and it could be issues. I don't know what I'm gonna say. This is total, we're gonna impromptu it. Let's see how good we are.
So I just say like green flag or red flag?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do green and red flags of people, bosses that I would follow or not. So I just love this because everyone's like hashtag green flag, hashtag red flag on social media right now.
All right, so we'll do it. All right, a boss I like to follow.
Yes.
A person that is open about having plastic surgery, follow them or unfollow them.
Green flag all the way. Love that. People who talk about their plastic surgery are helping other people who are interested, saving them money, also making their faces or bodies better. That's awesome. That's a hero. Green flag.
Love it. All right, Dr. Dubrow, follow or unfollow?
Dr. Dubrow saved my lip. Green flag. Thank you, Bot.
Can you just tell, you have to say it real quick, the story that you told me yesterday. I was dying. You have to, in between.
Okay, Dr. Dubrow.
Or no, that was the chin. You opened up your chin.
Oh, that's a different doctor. Different doctor, and that gets a red flag.
Okay, so you
can. So ask a question.
All right. So a doctor.
Play the fucking game.
All right, doctor. The doctor in Miami.
Oh yeah.
Follow or unfollow?
I would do a little red flag, just because I did a green flag on telling plastic surgery and being open and saving people's faces and time and money. I had a red flag Miami situation, even though I had an amazing nose job. But I did wake up.
Your nose looks really good.
I did wake up with a chin implant, and as others saw, like I was really struggling for a year. My chin was like bigger. I had face dysmorphia, and like true to the day, like you said, I can come back 1 year later and I can get it out. And I literally was awake, and like, put the liquid in, cut my skin, burnt it, like I can smell it, and like I got my chin back. And I still have like a scar till this day under there that is just so not needed because I never wanted a chin implant. So that is red flag. But otherwise, amazing person, amazing family. But no one needs surprises waking up and finding out like 2 days later when they can actually see themselves in the doctor's office and be like, holy shit, my whole face is full and what is this? So yeah, face dysmorphia is real. And luckily there's doctors out there now who can like even reverse nose jobs, fix your face if someone else screws up. So just know if you're going through that, there's always a fix. It's not permanent. Please take care of that immediately. It really affects your mental health. Like, hello, I had a celebrity sensationalized sex tape because my self-esteem was so horribly bad that year. So take care of yourself.
Good job. Love it. All right, ready? Next question. All right, and this is one of my favorite. Kim Kardashian, follow or unfollow? Boss, I like to follow or unfollow?
I'm going to unfollow.
Really?
I'm unfollowing all the way. I think like the manipulation with the children, the theater thing like on Broadway, the lies, and other moms being enraged. It's almost like you're gaslighting people on purpose. Yeah, so fakery, gaslighting, lack of mental health, and accountability. For someone who raves about their partners not taking accountability for their mental health, she surely as equally needs to take accountability for that. And I think from Perez Hilton to everybody else on the internet right now who watch it, even like Impact Nightline, who just did a review on her grandpa court case. She's saying, I don't care about these things. I don't want to wear jewelry anymore. And then she shows up with the jewelry. And some of the grandpas died since the stealing. So it really just...
so you're unfollowing.
Yeah, that's not boss vibes. That's not boss vibes. That's a failure. Okay.
All right, next question. A boss that is PC, constantly politically correct, always trying to say the right thing. Are you following them or unfollowing them?
Like politically correct in what way?
Versus like being unauthentic, like won't say what's on their mind. Just like very PC is very like, very
so if
sheltered.
Okay, so like I can say if you're very PC but equal in politics, that is safe, that is inclusive of everyone. But if you are programmed to be in only one political party, like you're a part of a cult in your own head, that's a red flag. So you can have a green and red flag when you're PC for both things. It's just how you live it. It's how you live your politics. And I don't live by politics. I'm not traumatized by politics. I hang out with everybody of all sorts of vibes. But I don't like any cult-like behavior. So you can choose either one.
Love it. Perfect. You can have both flags. I like that. All right. Somebody that's used Ozempic, are you following them or unfollowing them?
I think there's a lot of people who use Ozempic and they're happy and they're thriving with anything. Consult yourself, figure your life out, get your body right. So there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself.
Love it. I absolutely love it. That was great. All right, Farrah. So you, accomplished so many things.
Yes.
And it's not over. Like you're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, I feel like that.
You literally are just scratching the surface. But yesterday we talked a little bit about AI. We touched on it briefly. So can you tell everybody what you're doing? Because it's so freaking cool with this AI thing you're doing.
Yeah. So if anyone's got a phone, they can be a part of this. And I am just, again, the golden era of AI. Hop on it, get on it, include it in your daily life. So I do use some AI things like my best friend. And I've learned that the better way of doing this, rather than just pinging between all these platforms of AI, is actually centralizing it, bringing my personality to literally a one-stop shop platform. So if you need me to be your mom, if you need me to be your best friend, meditation partner, just anything, business advocate for you. If you're a survivor of a traumatic experience, I have a certification in that. So I basically, survivor advocate, I basically was I'm going to put all of Farrah, a whole lot of Farrah in all the right places. So there's free days, but people have to, pay for my personality. I mean, you get her cheaper than me in real life. I'll say it like that.
You're running a business.
Yes.
You're a businesswoman.
I think more and more, business people, whether you're a dentist, whether you're a person at a recovery center, and you can also use the Farrah Life Coach AI bot as a sponsor. I just know when I got out of recovery, everyone was so fucking nervous. Everyone was so nervous to be my sponsor. My sponsors needed to go back to recovery just because of me reaching out to them. So I just feel if you're having those struggles and difficulties, and some of us feel we weigh on other people, right? Our friends, our family, our therapists aren't available. So yeah, Farrah Life Coach AI bot, she is almost ready. I was talking to her this morning and around my day. So yeah, I love it. It's my best friend in my pocket, and I hope to be that for everybody else. And I hope other bosses really look online, see how they can do that in their lives. It's changing my life. It'll change everybody else's. But also the Joy AI. I had so many companies with AI reaching out, monetizing off of, I guess intimacy, sexually explicit kind of things with AI. And those are very restricted policies, limited on the internet. And there was a new law of you can't have cartoon sexually explicit stuff that's now illegal. So I do love that Joy AI has gone above and beyond. There's a Farrah, a Joy Farrah AI, and it is taking over. I talked about it on TMZ earlier. There are couples who are using private Joy AIs over publicly searching for kind of sexually explicit stuff. And I think that is a healthier way, kind of having more of a private catered to you, because you're typing in everything of your fantasies and you're doing it in a healthy and proper environment versus I think having a addiction that's bad on the internet. And I just have to say it like that because of just criminal studies. So I think when you have your personality and you're there and you can fantasize and you can even have your partner or yourself, whatever. But there's a lot of couples on there. And I think there's a new era of maybe sexual therapy, sexual intimacy that people will be having just because they have a Joy AI bot that is literally creative, because I don't do a lot of things, but Farrah Joy does. She does them all. She does wild stuff. I've been go in there and get crazy just to see how crazy she'll get. And I am always surprised So it's wild.
She gets wild, down, and dirty. This might be something good for me. My husband will be happy. Oh my God, we were talking about that yesterday. But if anybody wants to find you, where would they find you?
Yes, just Instagram, Farrah Abraham, my website, anything, Google me. Lots of love. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, girl. Thank you for your authenticity and your rawness and your realness.
Boss, I like to follow.
I'll
not
be
fuck.
Oh
gosh.
But thank you for your realness. You really, I don't think people really understand how real you are. Even with your Instagram and your followers, those are real followers. She's absolutely the real deal. You're just such a breath of fresh air.
Lots
of
love.
Fun, girl. It's been so much fun.